What's up, everybody? Tyson Roush. Let's talk Jets. Hope everybody's having an excellent weekend. For those of you interested, the weather in New Jersey is cold. I just ran a half marathon in rain, snow, and ice, so it is cold, and more snow coming this week. But we have some breaking news as the New York Jets reportedly are moving on from Aaron Rodgers, and this to me is no surprise at all. And it's funny because everybody was saying, whatever the new regime decides, I'm going to support them 100%, until they do something you don't like, and now it's complete chaos. So when the Jets traded for Aaron Rodgers, everybody to a man was saying you have a 2-year window to win it all. Unfortunately, year one, the injury, lost season. Year two, he played okay, another lost season. They didn't do anything. Now when you have a new general manager, new head coach, pretty much a whole new step, as they're gutting out the front office, they're trying to rebuild everything, you have to make tough decisions. And when you look at what this team desperately needs, it's a new culture, a new leader, a new direction. And when you have a guy like Aaron Rodgers, when he was brought in here, he became the face of the franchise, the spokesperson, the captain. He answered for all the problems. He answered for everything. And when something went wrong, all the players in the locker room looked to him like, how do you fix it? Because they didn't have anybody else to do it. There was no culture, no accountability, no discipline. He was the guy. So now, as a new staff, do you want to inherit a guy like that or say, you know what? I understand what this team is. This team is a rudderless ship that's going absolutely nowhere. We've got to change it from top to bottom, and we want to have our guys, our kind of leaders, our offense, our players. To have a guy like Rodgers, who is, he's an enigma. You like what he may give you potentially the best chance to win, but all the other things that go with it are a distraction. And you want to have a new voice here. Now, the obvious thing is, well, what about who's going to be your replacement? We want to win this year. Here's a newsflash, whether you like it or not. The Jets, as they are currently constructed, are not built to win the AFC East this year or go for a run in the Super Bowl title. Super Bowl run. They are built to change things up, fix a lot of things, weed out bad contracts, weed out bad attitudes, and bring in a whole new vision here. Aaron Rodgers does not fit that mold. Because what happens when you have a first-time coordinator, you obviously have Scott Turner. What happens when things go wrong on offense? Is he going to be going Pat McAfee, bitch and moan and complain? Or he'd be like, you know what, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do this. You don't need it. It's time to move on. It's sad, but it's true. And I like Aaron Rodgers. But this is the boat that you're in. You can't keep holding on. Well, I'm so tired of fucking losing. I got to win this year. Nothing. They're not going to. They're not built that way. You know what? They have a decent offensive line. Now with Rodgers gone, Devontae Adams is going to be gone. You know who's going to be happy? Garrett Wilson. But now what you need more receivers. You need a new tight end group. You got to revamp your defensive line. You need two safeties. This is what you want to call it. It's a friggin' rebuild. It is. So to keep Rodgers one more year as a Band-Aid to hopefully win 8 or 9 games is not worth it. You know why? Because you have a huge cap hit next year. Well, he might take a pay cut. So what? Rip the Band-Aid off and own it. I have so much respect for Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji to take this approach and just say, this is what we are. We know what we want. And this is the direction we're going to go. Take it or leave it. We don't care. They don't care about fan backlash, media backlash, Aaron Rodgers comments. They don't care. This is what has to be done. It's a cutthroat business. And finally, the Jets have adults in the room that are actually doing it. So you know what? You could say, well, he's a first-time coach, shouldn't have these problems. I like the decisiveness. I like when he interviewed for the job, he probably told Woody Johnson and Chris Johnson, and the fact that they actually bought in and are letting football guys make football decisions is actually progress for the New York Jets. Now, you may be an inexperienced staff doing it. That's fine. They have Rick Spielman. They have Phil Savage. They have other guys. You got to figure that Glenn is not a guy sitting in the office by himself saying, you know what, let me make this powerful decision with no educated viewpoints behind it. He thought about it. He used his resources. This is the move they have to take. Now, I have no problem with it whatsoever. I expected it. I give him credit for actually doing it and not worrying about ticket sales and appeasing the fans. It's a new era Jets football. Take it or leave it. They're going to have a struggle. They're going to have a learning curve. It could be a little bit ugly this year. And then you look towards next year. The most important thing is, out of this whole process, is now you got to find your franchise quarterback. If it's not in the draft, maybe they go find a free agent. Everybody's like, well, the only guys available are this, and this. We have no idea what's going to happen. There are so many different ways you can go in handling a team. So you got to be open-minded about it and let the whole process play out. If it means Tyrod Taylor and Justin Fields and you draft a guy, I'm all for it. Let's see what happens. Instead of bringing a guy back that's a Band-Aid, trying to cater an offense to him and hope you can scratch and claw to win 8 games this year, and then guess what? Next year he's gone, and then what? Own the cap problems now, own the issues this year, cycle out all of your problems this year so you can move forward to next year and prosper. That's the way it works. So, I'm going to get a lot of heat for this. I have no problem with it whatsoever. I'm glad they did it. I'm ready to move on. I'm ready to see what this regime can do and how they rebuild this organization finally. And hopefully they have sustainable success. There are no guarantees. But I'm really curious to see what other general manager and head coach would actually kept Aaron Rodgers. You already heard Dimitrov said he wouldn't have did it. So it is what it is. The fan favorite's gone. So be it. I don't care about fan favorites. I care about winning. And to me, this is the fastest way to go about doing it. Clean out the old, in with the new, and take care.